A final salute to a fallen leader as the procession for Pittsburgh Battalion Chief John Walsh crosses the Fort Pitt Bridge on its way to Oakland. Walsh died last week while leading the response to a house fire in the East Hills. Walsh suffered a medical issue. Today, his loved ones, friends, and family of firefighters were there to lay him to rest. KDKA's Chris Hoffman is live outside that funeral service, which is happening in Oakland. Chris, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Erica. The body of Battalion Chief John Walsh is now headed to its final resting place, a cemetery up in Gibsonia, after the ceremony, the final funeral service that was at St. Paul Cathedral here in Oakland. That started about 10 this morning. Chief Walsh was welcomed by fellow firefighters, family, loved ones, as his body was carried into St. Paul for that ceremony. Now, it was a traditional Catholic funeral with the readings and blessings that are bestowed upon someone in these moments. Firefighters took time to honor his life. The priest, even during his homily and eulogy, reflected on the fact that while Chief John may no longer be here, he is still with us in some way, offering some sort of compassion to people that were heavy with grief today, as Chief Walsh leaves behind a wife of 36 years, his father, who also served the Pittsburgh Bureau of Fire, as well as his mother. Now, at the end of this ceremony, at the end of the service, that is, they rang bells in remembrance of Chief Walsh. They also awarded his wife the IAFF, that is, Medal of Honor. That's the Firefighters Union. They said this is the highest honor one can get for making the ultimate sacrifice like Chief Walsh made. Now, we did talk to Fire Chief Darrell Jones, who was here, as well as other Pittsburgh dignitaries like Mayor Ed Gainey and Public Safety Director Lee Schmidt. Here's what Chief Jones had to say afterwards as they continue to remember and honor the legacy of Chief Walsh.
We have a task to continue to honor him, to grow upon what he left us, the resilience that he showed by coming back to work after being so severely injured, the professionalism that he always exhibited, his attitude, his command presence.
And that incident that Chief was talking about, that happened back in 1994, where it caused third-degree burns to Chief Walsh when he was a fireman at the time. And he came back to work, served another 30 years with the department here before ultimately passing away last week. And again, his body currently is en route to Holy Savior Cemetery up in Gibsonia, which will be his final resting place. You'll hear more from Chief Jones a little bit later this afternoon about the legacy Chief Walsh leaves behind. Live in Oakland this afternoon, Chris Hoffman, KDKA-TV News.
That said, firefighters from all over joined in the journey, taking Walsh to his final resting place. As Guidotti shows us, Walsh leaves behind a legacy within a very strong brotherhood.
Rolling under the hero's arch of the Stars and Stripes hoisted atop two Pittsburgh fire trucks, the body of Battalion Chief John Walsh left the Scott Township Funeral Home, headed to his funeral service and eventually his final resting place. His last journey followed by his firefighting family.
I did have the pleasure of meeting Chief Walsh.
McKeesport Chief Jeffrey Tomsick, one of the many firefighters who joined in the funeral procession.
Chief Walsh was a great guy, salt of the earth kind of guy, and from what I recall, I mean, he loved his job. He was a firefighter's firefighter. Firefighters
from McKeesport as well as from all over came to see this veteran firefighter off.
It's a tight-knit group. Just emergency services in general. When something happens in the community, within our group, it's a ripple effect. It's felt by everybody.
One of those individuals traveling all the way from Harrisburg, who also happens to be a former City of Pittsburgh firefighter and friend of Chief Walsh, happened to be the Pennsylvania State Fire Commissioner, Thomas Cook.
There are people here to send John on his way.
Commissioner Cook says the loss of Battalion Chief John Walsh is not just a loss of a very good man, but it's also the loss of a very good teacher.
Firefighting is one of those crafts that is really learned through experience. So when you have a gentleman like John that spent 37 years on the job, that's irreplaceable.
But both Commissioner Cook and Chief Tomsick indicated that it is now those who Chief Walsh mentored's job to carry on his tradition of helping younger firefighters live to be older ones.
A really, really top-notch firefighter. You know, he's going to be missed deeply by everybody involved.
In Scott Township, Guidotti, KDKA-TV News.